Why is burnout such a big deal? Let's talk about that today because I work with many people who have burned out and they're confused as to why they have burned out. And it brings a lot of people into healing sessions, into private coaching. It brings a lot of people into Medical Qigong. Welcome to the Art of Tuning In podcast. I'm Dr. Maria Furlano. It's great to have you here today. Burnout is something that I work with a lot of people. And this is why I know that it is really common. And it often takes people by surprise who experience it. In medical Qigong and Chinese medicine, we work with the energy system of the body. We work with the emotional energy system of the body, the physical energy system of the body, the mental energy system of the body, and the spiritual alignment and energy system of the body. And all of these create a holistic way of moving through life and a holistic way of supporting yourself. And when we understand burnout from an energetic point of view, it's really easy to understand how it happens when we're dealing with things in our life. We burn energy all the time. This is why replenishing energy is so important. Sleep is wonderful, but it isn't often enough, especially with the kind of lifestyle that people who experience burnout generally have. They're generally people who are very busy. They're generally high performers. They're generally people who are perfectionists. They're generally people who get things done. A lot of times they're people who other people really depend on. They work hard. They move through life. They show up. And all of these things are wonderful things. But if you do not know how to manage your energy and you don't know how to replenish your energy. So when I say manage energy, because we talk about managing energy all the time, when I say manage energy, what I mean is understand what your energy needs, what your body needs. Sometimes we need to release energy. Sometimes we need to restore energy. Sometimes we need to root and ground our energy. Sometimes we need quiet. Sometimes we need stimulation. There's all of these different things that our energetic system uses to be full, to be expansive, to be healthy. And that's energy management. And we learn how to do that on a mental level. What do we need mentally? On an emotional level, what do we need emotionally? On a physical level, what does our physical body need? And all the physical systems of our body need to be healthy. And we do this on a spiritual level. On the spiritual level, it can be that you are actually supporting yourself spiritually. There's a term that we use in medical Qigong. It's called spiritual dryness. And it's when you don't have any spiritual support. You don't have that connection spiritually. You're not being nourished through the spiritual energy that is so important in life. So mental, emotional, physical, and spiritual. And all of these also branch out into our relationships. Do our relationships feed us mentally, physically, emotionally, and spiritually? Are we who we really truly are at a soul level in our relationships? Because if we're not, then one time we're this person, another time we're that person, another time we're doing this, another time we're thinking this. That is a big drain of energy. If you cannot be who you truly are in the experiences of your life, relationships, work, all of the different things that you love to create in your life, if you cannot be who you truly are in all of these different facets of your life, you're going to drain energy because you're blocking the true flow of your energy if you are not who you truly are. And that's really all that that is. It's so simple. If you're not being who you are, your energy doesn't flow. If you're having to constantly check yourself, or if you're in perfectionist mode, and perfectionist mode comes from that root place that you feel that you are not going to be accepted, that you're not good enough, that you constantly have to prove yourself. And that is draining, right? That is mentally draining, emotionally draining, and physically draining because of what we put ourselves through. And it's very lonely from a spiritual perspective because we don't feel like we have that kind of support that's helping us along. So what we believe in, what we have trust and faith in, That is nourishing our energy. When I said sleep is not always enough, it means that we have all of these other aspects to our life that feed our energy. Nutrition, as you know, is huge. Most people who I have worked with who have burnout or have different levels of burnout, even beginning levels of burnout, they generally do not eat frequently enough and really nourishing foods. They generally are not getting the kind of proteins and nourishment that they need to really support themselves. When we understand that nourishment of nutrition supports our brain function as well as the rest of our body, then we start to understand, oh, if I want to do this project, if I want to complete this, if I want to be top of game at this, if I want to be really good and excel, I better have my brain functioning and I better eat good food because I need my brain supported. You have a schedule in your day, but you actually stop and you ah, take a break and you allow the food to nourish you. This is then recharging your system. When we start to do those things consciously, now we're consciously recharging our system. When we recharge our system, we are eliminating that layer of burnout. Sleep, yes, absolutely, very important. It's just not the only thing. And sometimes when we're not nourishing our body nutritionally, when we're not nourishing our body with Qigong practices or things like that, which I'll get to in a minute, our body can't rest. It can't go into rest mode because our system is so overstimulated. It's so overcharged. It's burned out. It's depleted. It can't rest. It can't anchor. When you can't rest, you can't anchor, it can be very difficult to fall asleep and to stay asleep because your nervous system is constantly wired. It's keeping you in this very low level fight and flight state where you're never resting. And so this is why I say sleep is great, but most people who have burnout or who are experiencing the beginning parts of burnout are having a lot of trouble with sleep. So we have to do other things to get you to be able to sleep. So one of those things is to learn these energetic practices like meditation and medical qigong. Yoga is wonderful, tai chi is wonderful. Practices that not only help you to pause, to take a break, to allow your nervous system to rest, to allow your brain to stop, to allow all of the organs in your body to rest. So think about it this way. If you're going all the time, constantly, what's happening to your system, your physical body? It's using up its energy. We're only born with a certain amount of energy. If you don't learn to replenish that energy that you use, you're just pulling energy out all the time. It's just like pulling energy out of a checking account. If you're not putting money back into that checking account, it's going to go to zero. What you want to do is you want to learn how to soften, how to be, how to anchor, how to tune in. When you do that, you're giving your body a whole sense of a different kind of rest. And it's like taking a small, short nap all throughout your day. And this can recharge your brain all throughout your day, which helps, of course, with burnout. It also helps you have more energy so that you can make better decisions. And it helps you feel better so you want to take care of yourself better. So medical Qigong practices in general, they help the body clear the energy that you're holding on to. So all of that excess stress, all of that excess emotional energy, all of that excess mental stuff that you're racing around, because how you're thinking, all of these thought forms that are constantly going through your brain, they are using up your energy. And when people pause and they start to look at, I am continually stressed, I'm continually thinking about these same things, I'm waking up, I'm worried about this, I'm worried about that, or I'm constantly trying to perfect this or that, my brain never stops. It can be shocking to people when we ask them to please settle. They don't know how to settle. If you don't know how to settle and you don't learn how to settle, because you absolutely learn these skills, if you don't learn how to settle and you don't practice it, that brain that is constantly thinking is using up energy in your body. And it is creating this flight state that is constantly going because these thought forms are usually not peaceful. They're not loving. They're not calm. They're generally some kind of stress response that's happening, that's pushing you and pushing you. And so that burns up the energy. That, of course, then creates tension in the body as well, because generally when we're thinking things and we're stressed, we're holding our body and we have tension in our body. Our shoulders, right? Our back. Back is a huge area that people feel pain or discomfort, soreness when they're stressed, when they're burned out. Because again, not only are they holding their body in a certain way because they're pushing, and they don't really know the difference. This has become so chronic for them that they don't realize that they're doing it. And when they start to relax and their body starts to let go, it can be shocking at first to how much tension you hold. But when you're holding that tension, understand that your body is holding that tension for you. And that takes energy. It takes energy to hold tension. Chi energy does not flow through tension. It's like blocking up a dam. So the relaxation allows the whole energy to move through your body differently, which means that you will have more energy. So again, we have the nutrition, we have our thought forms, we have the tension that we're holding in our body. We have a scheduling system, getting enough sunlight in the morning, which helps your brain, which helps your nervous system, which helps all of these different aspects of your body be able to sleep better at night. Maybe you are rushing from here to there and never taking time for yourself. Another aspect that we have here, especially in the West, is people will work out to extremes. When you exercise, exercise is awesome. It's great. It's healthy. It's a wonderful way to burn off stress. I love exercise. However, when you're burned out, when your energy reserves are low, and you push yourself in certain exercises, you're just going to continue to deplete your energy. Common sense, when you start to really realize it, if you don't have enough energy to begin with and you go and you use that energy, you're not going to have anything there to use. So you're basically working out on fumes. And then people come and they've said to me, I used to be able to work out all the time, go and I burn off stress, and now I'm exhausted. I can't even get through a workout. I'm injuring myself. I don't know what's wrong with me. Well, it's because they don't have any energy in their system to support them. They have to learn to fortify their energy, to fill their energy. That's the entire process of medical Qigong and Chinese medicine. We clear excess energy that we don't need. We fortify our energy. We replenish our energy so that what we've used, we refill, and we refill it to a point where we have excess. So we're not tapping into our reserves, we're tapping into the excess so that you have the reserves in case you ever really, really needed it. This is a really different way of thinking. So you're not burning yourself out, you're not burning energy. And that's how I want people to look at this. Is burnout is burning energy. How have you burned your energy in this time period in your life throughout many years, whatever it is for you? Sometimes people just get burned out from a single project. It can be so intense that all of a sudden they're like, wow, I am completely burned out. A lot of people burn out in caregiving loved ones. That can be an extensive period of time that has a high emotional component with it. So we're burning energy now in different aspects. Some people have just lived this lifestyle, their entire lifestyle. Go, 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 never stop, push themselves, show up, don't really take care of themselves, thinks, oh, I'll do that later, I'll be fine, I can get through this. The stronger I am, the better. People think I'm strong. I'm just going to keep being strong. I have that identity. I have to keep showing up. This is just a recipe for not having any energy later in your life. And when you do that, replenishing it later is more difficult than just learning balance along the way. And this is why I encourage you to stop where you are, look at your life, look at how you're using your energy, look at how you're replenishing energy, looking at the tools that you have in your life, and looking at possibly learning new tools to support yourself in different ways. It can make such a difference, not only for your daily, how you feel every day, how you move through your life every day, in your relationships every day, in your success every day. Because if you don't have the energy to show up, that success is going to start to dwindle. And it generally affects your health. It affects your relationships. It affects your creativity. And it definitely affects us as we get older in our life because we don't have that same energy. And so many times in our culture, when we talk about getting older, I'm just old, I don't move the same way. It's really because we have not been taught how to take care of ourselves. It's about we need to take care of our energy and replenish our energy. It's very different way of thinking, I know, but it is so, so important. So how about you? Are you experiencing any burnout? Have you experienced burnout in the past and healed that burnout? How did you do it? What do you notice about your daily activities? What do you notice about your tools for recognizing when you're depleted and knowing how to refill that depleted energy? I'd love to hear your comments. I'd love to hear your questions. I thank you so much for being here, and I will see you very soon.